All right. Hi, this is Tony Teegarden. I want to welcome you to the Deep Self-Confidence System Introduction. And this is actually an uncommon course to getting more of what you want. We've got a lot to get through here in just a few minutes, so let's get going. So, who am I? Well, I'm a person just like you. There's not anything probably that much different or special. I've just had some really cool life experiences in life, which I'll share with you here. My past early on was as a musician. Played violin for about 8.5 years. I was a classically trained violinist, and also had my 21st birthday in Poland, playing in front of 10,000 people in a metal band that I was in. So had a lot of fun there early on, and I continue to have a lot of fun here today. I'm actually very passionate about human potential and growth, and why we do what we do, and how we can all get better. Selfishly because I want to get better myself. And I've just flat out, I get juiced by sharing insights that serve you and getting what you really want. And that's one of the big reasons why I started TonyTeegarden.com, just so I could share a lot of stuff that I was excited and passionate about. So what's possible with deep self-confidence? Well, number one, in the past I've spoken in front of audiences as large as 12,000 people. That's me speaking on the stage at the MGM Grand. I've actually been self-employed now for 17 years, so I've always felt confident to step out and pursue entrepreneurial type of activities. The last 10 years has actually been from home, where I've actually coached hundreds of other people over the last 10 years to basically work from home, transition, and enjoy a lifestyle that they work from home. And also I've impacted lots of people's lives in a positive fashion, and I've done it all with a high school diploma, and that's it. So, but there's a lot of other benefits and dividends that you're not seeing right now that I'm going to cover a little bit later. A lot of this is exterior, quote unquote, possible success. However you want to define that, I believe success is defined much more than financially. It's emotionally, it's spiritually, it's your friendships, it's your connectedness. And which is really why I want to talk about this right now, is that really, if you're watching this right now, chances are you know that deep down inside you have a bigger picture for yourself. You have a bigger picture for your life, and one that you want to participate and contribute in. I know I do. I know I've still got a lot of my picture, my big picture to move into, and which is one of the reasons why I'm providing this course, and I feel confident being able to share that with you. And when you think about this, part of this course, my contribution to you is basically this in a nutshell. When you rise up in consciousness, everything rises up to meet you. And you're going to find that to be very indicative of lots of quote-unquote successful people, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and many other ways. And this was actually a quote by Francis Wilshire, which was in a great book. It was called You. It was written back in 1935. And what that means is that like attracts like. And so when you look in the mirror every day, you see yourself, and the goal is to be happy and healthy and supportive of yourself, no matter what challenges or quote unquote mistakes that you've made. But really, when you look out into the world, your world is a mirror, and it's basically a reflection of how you see yourself. And so like attracts like, and it's very, very important to raise our level of consciousness so that everything around us rises to meet that. And that's really my contribution of this course to you. So why is self-confidence important? And the couple of ideas that come up here are, Tony, I want to feel confident to ask for a raise. And these are things that I've heard in the past, and I've even said myself. I want to be able to start a business on the side, but I want to be confident to be able to do that. I want to know that I can succeed. I want to be confident to maybe ask somebody out, and I want to be able to express myself easier in social situations. I don't want to have so much anxiety and everything else. So I know these things are important. I know they've been important to me in the past. Early on in life. And even today, and there's lots of people that I've come across over the last 17, 20 years, that I've heard these things from. And, self-confidence is important so that you can, position yourself in better places so that you can contribute and receive. I'm gonna mention to you that there's a gentleman by the name of W. Edward Demings that he was a statistician, and he said something really important. He says to ask yourself why 5 times in order to get to the real reason. So with more self-confidence, you may feel that, well, Tony, I can ask for a raise, therefore I'll get more money. More money is good, don't get me wrong. You can do a lot of good things with money, but why is that money important? You might feel that with more confidence, I'll be able to make more money, and I'll be able to get more time. And that's great, but what are you going to do with that time? What are you going to fill that time with? And you may also say that, with more confidence, more self-confidence, I'll be more influential and I'll have more influence. And again, that's really good, and that's something to aspire to. But what are you going to do with that influence, and what kind of impact are you going to have with that influence? There's been some very negative characters in the past that have had a lot of influence, and there's been a lot of positive people that have a lot of influence. And so, what are you going to do with that influence? I'm going to dare to say that the money, the time, the influence are important. However, I also feel that a deep self-confidence is critical so that you feel that you can handle whatever comes your way. And notice when I say handle whatever comes your way, that might be positive or negative. Because when we rise up in consciousness, everything rises up to meet us. And that also more than likely means we're going to attract challenges to overcome. And so we want to be able to know that we can handle those challenges. We want to also know that we can handle the challenges that come with more money, that come with more time, and that come with more influence. Because certainly with all three of those, there is going to be more responsibility, and you want to be able to know that you can handle that responsibility. So not just handle problems, but also handle the responsibility of being able to to handle those things and contribute them in ways that actually are beneficial to your fellow man and woman. I really feel that when you really get down to the money, the time, the influence, and all these other different things, that really our goal is to become more connected to people around us. I know that that's been a big importance to me, is to as I've gotten older here, that relationships and deep connections and with those relationships has become very, very important. 80% of our happiness comes from the relationships that we are engaged in, and we really, if we really have a deep sense of confidence, we can not only feel more connected with ourselves, but we also ultimately become more connected to those around us. So ask yourself this: what would I be willing to take action on if I knew I could handle whatever come my way? And again, keep in mind here in this quote, lots of times you'll hear people say, well, what would I be willing to take action on if I knew I could that I couldn't fail? Guess what? Successful individuals, entrepreneurs, people that are in successful relationships or have built fortunes or have gone through spiritual growth and whatnot. The key thing is that it's not that that they position themselves in a way that they thought that I'd be willing to take action on if I knew I couldn't fail. Because listen, they've all failed in some form or fashion on the way to obtaining the successes that they have now today. So what would I be willing to take action on if I knew I could handle whatever come my way? That's positives and negatives. So it's not just that if you could fail, because listen, you're probably going to fail or make mistakes, but the key is how quickly can you get back up and know that you can handle those and those challenges and those risks. I'm going to say that's probably one of the biggest keys. So if you'll write down that question and answer that with that new perspective, I feel that you'll be pretty excited. Without self-confidence, I know that you'll feel stuck. You'll feel like you're not able to think outside the box, much less take action outside the box. You'll probably constantly wonder what's the combination to unlock my greatness, and to figure out whether or not I'm good enough. Am I good enough in order to unlock that door, to unlock my potential? You won't ask for what you want in life. You won't ask from it for people. You won't ask from it from yourself, ultimately because you fear rejection. We fear rejection from the people around us, which ultimately means that we won't be connected. And that's a very scary thing. And I'm going to talk about, in future videos, why this is such a huge driving force with people. So what is the deep self-confidence system? Well, let me preface it with this. There are many realities in the world and many truths. And listen, they exist side by side. By the very nature of who we are, we're forced to live in one reality. And sometimes we have that choice of reality if we're aware that they're there. And that's a quote by Ken Glickman. And I thought it was beautiful because, listen, you have your truths, I have my truths. I have what I believe is my reality, and you have yours. If you're okay with your reality, great, stick to it, continue to do it. If not, then here's where you can start to really break free of that. What I found in myself and lots of other successful people that I've come across, what they've done is in their relationships and their health and their finances, what they've done is they've gained altitude. And what that means is that they get that 50,000-foot view to where they can say, okay, great, where have I been, where am I going, and where am I at right now? And by gaining altitude, you can start to gain new perspectives. And this is powerful. This is why, great leaders, have the influence that they do, is because they are able to, they have perspective. This is why consultants can charge the kind of money that they do. This is why online marketers can charge for teaching what they know, because it's perspective. And this is really critical to you being able to create new realities in your life. And when you do, you see new truths. You might see things that are completely different than maybe the day before when you gain altitude and gain these new perspectives. This is why near-death experiences are so impactful on people's lives. It's not that they change, it's how they saw the world changed. And so therefore they were able to show up and do different things and live new lives. Because when you see new possibilities, you can live new realities. And this has certainly been my truth, and I continue to make it my truth, and I really feel that it can be your truth if you find yourself in a reality that you're not extremely happy with, not extremely fulfilled with, and you're not living with relationships that are deeply connected. So the deep self-confidence system, what is it? Well, ultimately it's this. It's 8 different modules that really go through the process, and some of these processes are mine, some of these that I've learned over the years. I've really, over the last probably 10 years, read close to 700 or 800 books on personal development, self-discovery, spiritual awakening, cognitive sciences, and positive psychology, and all these different aspects. I've interviewed and spoke with and worked with people, and I found these 8 different modules that really I feel have been very, very important in me making change in my life and creating impact in other people's lives. And when we go through this process, you're going to find that the first 4 modules are more conceptual and philosophical. And this is important because we're going to go into some of the whys and the whats. We're going to go into why this stuff is important. We're going to go into some history and defining the detail around it, so that when we move into the next 4 modules, which are the action modules, you really get a deep sense of understanding of why it's so important that you do these actions in the way that you do. And I really feel you're going to get a huge amount of value from this. So ultimately, the next step for you is to opt in right now. Put in your best email so that I can send you these 4 weeks worth of modules. And I really feel these are going to be very beneficial. You're going to actually go through week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. And each week you're going to receive two modules that are going to give you really a deep sense of confidence and clarity and understanding, and a deep sense of connection to yourself along with others. And your first module you're going to receive is going to talk about assessing your current perceptions, because you cannot change where you are if you can't accept where you are, and just really accepting your current reality. Doesn't mean you have to like it. It just means that you have to assess it and get real with it and quit fighting it. And so the next step for you right now is to go ahead and opt in with your best email so I can get you over the first module right away. Again, this is Tony Teegarden. I look forward to working with you, and I wish you the very, very best. Thank you, and I'll see you on the other side.